So a couple of years ago, there was this local TV news story out of Ohio where there was a problem going on at the local library. So this reporter goes to this local library and he sees, people just outside, and he wants to ask him some questions about this, trouble that's brewing at this local library.
What do you look up on the internet?
Nothing really. My sports scores, stuff like that.
So this kid is wearing his best Ohio State sweater. He's obviously into sports. He goes to the library, like many of us, for information. And the information that he cares about are sports scores, obviously. I see nothing wrong with that. Completely benign.
Sports, pornography, stuff like that?
No. Why?
I'm with Ohio State sweater guy on this one. I mean, this guy's telling you he looks up sports scores at the library. And you're talking about porn? Hard left turn there, reporter guy. Where could you possibly be going with this?
What if I told you we got video of you performing a sexual act?
Video evidence, you say? Lordy, there's a tape! Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because when I see that news story out of Ohio, I can't help but think of Devin Nunes. And to help you understand what it is I'm talking about, here's Devin Nunes at the impeachment hearings of December 2019.
And once again, the Democrats, their media mouthpieces, and a cabal of leakers are ginning up a fake story with no regard to the monumental damage they're causing to our public institutions and to trust in government.
Devin Nunes is right. Ginning up fake news stories is pretty much the dirtiest thing you can do in politics. It really does cause monumental harm to our public institutions and our people's trust in it. How low are the Democrats willing to go? What say you? Eric Swalwell, Democrat?
Are you aware of yesterday's Daily Beast story reporting the indicted Ukrainian Lev Parnas has been working with ranking member Devin Nunes on Mr. Nunes' overseas investigations?
Say what now?
First two paragraphs reading, Lev Parnas, an indicted associate of Rudy Giuliani, helped arrange meetings and calls in Europe for Rep. Devin Nunes in 2018, Parnas' lawyer, Ed McMahon, told the Daily Beast. Nunes' aide, Derek Harvey, participated in the meetings, the lawyer said, which were arranged to help Nunes' investigative work. McMahon didn't specify what those investigations entailed.
Without objection.
Mr. Chairman, you have been falsely accused throughout these proceedings by the ranking member as being a quote-unquote fact witness. Now, if this story is correct, the ranking member may have actually been projecting. And in fact, he may be the fact witness if he is working with indicted individuals around our investigation.
Wait. So Devin Nunes has been talking all this time about Democrats ginning up fake news stories, while all this time Devin Nunes was in Ukraine trying to gin up a fake news story? He's going after Democrats for holding hearings about Trump trying to get dirt on Biden, while he himself was helping Trump get dirt on Biden. He's basically that kid that went into the library, masturbated in front of a computer, then went outside the library to do an interview about some problem that the library's been having, only to find out that the problem the library's been having is people masturbating inside the library, and that Devin Nunes was the one masturbating to pornography inside the library. If I were Adam Schiff and I were to do a parody version of what happened with Devin Nunes at that library in Ohio, I might say something like this. Imagine, if you will, an investigative reporter out of Ohio. He gets a hot tip about some kind of trouble brewing inside of his local library. He's not sure what this trouble is, but his investigative reporter's gut tells him it's something very serious, and it's something that's worth his time and effort to investigate. So this reporter travels to the library to find out what's been happening. There, he is confronted by a man just outside who tells him that the only issues this library has are nosy news reporters like himself coming in and drumming up fake news stories for ratings, and that he and the rest of the dishonest news media should be ashamed. The reporter explains to the man that there have been people masturbating inside of the library, and the man responds by saying that this all sounds terrible, if it were true, but that he's fairly certain that this reporter made the whole thing up. An act of normalizing this type of news story, a priming of the pump, if you will, of news appetites, so the public may be more willing to accept sordid, salacious tales of debauchery such as this, self or otherwise. Say, what's your name? The reporter asks. The man responds by saying, my name is Devin Nunes, and I'm the man that's going to burn your entire operation down to the ground. The reporter then says, what if I told you we have video evidence supporting our claims? And not only that, it's you we have on videotape doing the masturbating.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
And that when Devin used the phrase priming the pump, he was in fact projecting. Because priming the pump looks like this. And what else looks like this? That's right. Masturbating in a public library. So at this point, does he apologize? Does he pledge to do better? To turn a page? To leave his sordid past behind him? To do better in his community? To masturbate in the privacy of his own bedroom like any normal God-fearing American? Hell no, he doesn't! He doubles down! He tells the reporter that he's going to sue him and his news team for hiring an actor to portray him as a library masturbator. Next, the reporter ventures into the library, where he's confronted by a librarian by the name of Jim Jordan, who tells the reporter that while he has heard second or third-hand accounts of his good friend Devin Nunes masturbating inside of the library, that unlike this reporter and the rest of the lamestream media, Jim Jordan doesn't do hearsay evidence. Even in the face of video evidence showing Jim Jordan saw the whole thing. This reporter's search for the truth next takes him to Devin Nunes' parents' house, where he's attacked by Devin Nunes' father, Louis Gohmert, who grabs the reporter's microphone and throws it across the lawn. It is a display of pent-up aggression befitting of a man who was raised to believe that masturbating in a library or anywhere else is a sin against nature, and now in his later 50s is the very definition of impotent rage.
I'm a combat vet, and if you want me to bring my god to you, you son of a I will, and you won't like it.
To my friends on the other side of the aisle, I would say you might think it's okay that Devin Nunes walked into that library and had sex with Devin Nunes. I'm sure Devin Nunes thought it was okay. And then he thought it was really okay. And then really, really okay. And then really, really, really okay. And I imagine at the end there, he suddenly had a moment where he thought, maybe this isn't so okay. Until about 4 or 5 hours later, where he thought it was okay again. And the cycle repeats. The fact is, Devin Nunes walked into that library. He sat down in front of a library computer. He searched for porn. And in full view of everyone inside, he stuck his hands down his pants and he turned those library computers into an interactive game where only he was the winner. And who was the loser in this scenario, ladies and gentlemen? You. Me. But most of all, America's children. Don't our children deserve a place where they can learn, to read, to grow, to develop, to explore, without having to be subject to the sight of Devin Nunes exploring himself? Aren't we better than that? Is this what America's public libraries are going to be in the future? Will it be a place where teens come of age in the most obscene and self-serving way? Why not provide taxpayer-funded Vaseline? Some double-ply tissue while we're at it. Let's lean into it. Is it going to be a place where lonely old men get their rocks off? Hey, Chuck, where are you going? I've got a hot date tonight. I'm going to clean some pipe. Well, you must be going to the public library because everyone knows that that is where you do that. That's the future that people like Devin Nunes, Jim Jordan, and Devin Nunes' father Louis Gohmert want for our children. An entire generation of teens and old men that see the library as a place to go to, not to do research or to read, but where you go when you're horny and alone. My friends, we must decide right now whether we are a nation that provides public taxpayer-funded institutions where folks can check out books, or if our libraries are places where people go to check out themselves. And with that, I yield back the rest of my time.